Having a multiple six-figure Etsy store has taught me many different ways to actually grow fast on Etsy. So in this video, I'll go over how to scale your print-on-demand business. Let's get into it. All right, so step number 1, find a best-selling design. So the design is the main lever to actually get sales on Etsy. If we just go and search for Hormozi's value equation, these are actually the things that make or break a purchase. And the most important part of this piece here is the dream outcome. And in this case with Etsy, the dream outcome is the design on top of the product. So the most important thing in the beginning is to find a design that works. And the easiest way to do that is through custom designs. So what do I mean by custom designs? If we just head to Etsy and search for instance, custom sweatshirt. I've talked a lot about this on my channel. So if you're a regular here, you are probably familiar with me talking about custom sweatshirts. But for anyone who's not a regular on the channel, I'll just show you what I mean. So sweatshirt is a product that I've sold a lot of myself, and it's also a very popular seller. But overall, what I found with my journey on Etsy is that custom designs overall on Etsy usually have a higher conversion rate. Custom designs can mean a lot of things. It can mean that you basically get a photo from a customer like this, and they can customize a design, just like a text-based design. Or it could be like this, or it could be like this with just the name, or it could be a full-on, like they can write whatever they want here, for instance. It can be basically so many different things. But overall, the easiest way to do this is to just write like this here, custom text or just custom sweatshirt. This means the customer can actually write whatever they want on the shirt using the fonts that you display. To add value to a niche, we actually have to look through all of these different listings here and just see what types of listings are selling. I've talked about this previously as well, so I won't go too much in depth on it. If you want to go and watch a video specifically about design, I have a video about that here or here. I just put the link here. If we see that for instance, that I talked about previously, that the varsity college font is working well and the cursive one is working well, then we can combine those. And instead of just having, for instance, like this one have here, just like the bold letters here, we can just have custom here and text in cursive, which I've showcased before on my channel. This way we're actually adding value to the platform, but this is also the best way to find out which type of designs in the beginning that's actually working well. The gist of this is basically to just make a bunch of custom designs and put this up on Etsy. Since those tend to have a higher conversion rate, it's usually easier to sell. Plus we're not constrained really by any niche, since they can put whatever they want on the specific sweatshirt. The main thing with doing this is to find a type of design, a combination of different best-selling elements that it's actually working. So that's step 1. Now, step 2 is to build a master list. What I mean by that is that we need to find about 10 to 20 stores that we want to emulate, that we basically want to be like. Like if we have the amount of sales that they have, we will be happy. This is one of the things that I've used to scale my shop really well for me when it comes to scaling out to different niches. Let's find 10 stores that we want to be like. And there are some criteria to this. Like we don't want to find a big store that has done super well in like 10 years. We need to find a store that's done well recently that we want to emulate. So let's take this one, for instance. This one has done really well. It has 652 reviews, which is crazy. And let's just check the shop itself. This one was created in 2022, which is crazy good. So this one is a really good one. So this is all dependent on what you actually want with your own shop. If you want a smaller store, for instance, let's say you have to do maybe 25 orders a day. So 25 times 7 times 4, that's 700 sales a month. And in a year, it just as a measurement, that's basically 8,400. If you include Q4, that's basically 10,000 in a year. So in like 2 years, where we are now, maybe it's all based on how much you want to put into this business. So 25 orders a day, that's basically 8,400 sales a year, and which wouldn't like require that much work. We can also automate this easy by making sure that our listings have good templates, so every listing doesn't take much, and that we can actually use software to automate the customization and the personalization. That's a whole separate video, so we'll take that another time. I rushed this myself and it really made a huge detriment to my own progress. I had to go back and actually find exact shops that I wanted to be like and really do this part better, because I actually rushed this the first time. Let's say that we want this kind of sales, which is really, really good. In 2 years, that's a lot of, let's see here, divided by 2. We divide this by 12, 2031. Yeah, so 2031 each month, and then we divide this by, am I counting this right? Divide by 2, so this is yearly. We just average this to this, and then this is yearly, and this is every month, and this is basically every week, and this is every day. About 70 orders a day for this kind of shop. So 72, maybe more, 73 orders a day on average. This could be less since this is just the total. Most of the sales during the year always comes at the end of the year, which is during October, November, and December, and mainly November and December. So it could be maybe like 50 or 40 sales a month, plus the huge rush that comes at the end of the year in Q4. So if we want to hit these numbers and do like 70 orders a day, we need to find different shops that it fits this criteria as well. So I recommend having like 10 to 20 shops like this. When we find a shop like this, we just click analyze shop using our trusty Everbee, and then we just click analyze all listings. So then we just click export. Then you will basically get a CSV file of all of the like backend info, or like an estimated backend info from this specific shop. Then you can just export that to a Google Sheet, and you have all the listings info, basically just like an Excel Google Sheet file. Because if we have 10 shops like this, all put in the same Google Sheet file, you can then just sort this by monthly sales and get all of the stores with the monthly sales, and just sort all the listings, and then just go down one by one, and then just try each niche out. So the most important part in this step 2, is to just find 10 stores, and not rushing this, but finding 10 stores to 20 stores, but a minimum 10 stores that we want to emulate and be like. We should never copy anyone, just find inspiration, and we should always just strive to have the results that they have by adding value to the platform. Once we have that, we basically head to step 3, and that is scaling out to different broad niches. So once we have this specific list of designs, we can basically see that this person is selling a lot of different types of stuff. He's selling custom sweatshirts here, but he also sells in this niche. He also sells in this niche, in this niche, in this niche. Just lots of different types of niches. And the most important thing to remember here is that the design will work really well in niche A, but it might not work that well in niche B. So what we want to do here when we have the master list is that we want to find the big broad niches that we actually are seeing. And we want to test out our specific best-selling design that we have actually sold a couple times. Let's say that we want to test this out in a nurse niche. So let's say that we have this specific design. Then we'd find that one of the niches that one of the stores that we want to emulate and be like, they are selling this specific nurse sub niche. Then we want to test it out in this specific niche, but we don't want to scale it out to every nurse niche yet, even though our master list might say that, because the design might actually not work specifically in that niche. So we try it in the nurse niche. We, for instance, try it here in the basketball niche if we emulate this store. We try it in the coffee niche here. We try it in the dad niche here. We try it in the panda niche here. We try it in the dinosaur niche here. We try it the Big Brother niche here, for instance. But we test out in big broad strokes. We test our designs in different big niches. Test it out once or twice there. If it doesn't sell, it's not too much of a hassle, because we have still tried just big broad strokes in big niches. So I've never been a fan of going for a low competition niche with high demand, because if you just have a really good design that you've made yourself that is working super well, you put that in a super competitive niche, but no one is actually having your design. Since it's your own design, you hold the copyright to it, and then we can still differentiate ourselves since we've added value to the platform. And to get rank, which might seem competitive and scary, but to get rank when it comes to competitive niches like these types of niches, we can use break-even pricing, we can use a guarantee, we can make sure to always boost it with ads initially. Different types of tactics that I've talked about previously on this channel, just to boost visibility in the beginning, to actually give us the best chances of having the sale initially, which will then go to rank within that specific competitive niche. I've always been a big believer in just adding value to the platform, and then once we have product market fit, then we can just scale it out to different niches. And in this part, we're in the scaling out part, but since it won't work in all niches, we just try our best selling design in, for instance, here, the Big Brother niche, in the dinosaur niche, in the basketball niche, in the coffee niche. And some of these, like, it might work in the coffee niche, but it might not work in the basketball niche. It might work in the Big Brother niche, but it might not work in the panda niche. But once we actually see that, okay, This actually works really well for big brothers, for that specific big brother niche. Then we can use little brother, for instance, all different sub niches within brother. Maybe it's step brother, maybe it's brother-in-law, just different types of brother, and just use every sub niche within that. And the best part about that, since we have a custom design and we show it and we've scaled out to a niche that's now actually starting to work, which would be the brother niche that I'm talking about. People usually, if they can't find that specific listing that they want with the specific wording that they want in your store, in my experience, they've actually just purchased your custom listing with the design that everybody loves, that we now saw product market fit with, and then they basically just type the design that they actually want in your custom listing. And when people do that repeatedly, you would basically know what to put up as well on your store, which is a real fast track to actually just putting stuff up on your store. Because if several people are asking for the same thing and you found some product market fit, for instance here with the brother niche, for the best selling custom design that you initially had, and then they're asking for specific things using that custom listing that you sold initially. So you sold this great custom listing initially with a specific design, and you have tested out the brother niche and it's working really well in the brother niche, but they can't actually find a specific text-based design that they want. In my experience, it's been just that they will actually type this specific text-based design that they want in the custom listing that's actually related to the other niches that you're in. And that just gives us a real fast track to just scale our SD business, since they're giving us what they want through the custom listing, and within some niches that you actually saw product market fit in, they're just giving you specific things that they want on the product that you can then put up on the platform. And once we're at this stage, when we have, for instance here that I'm talking about, the brother niche that's working super well, and then people aren't finding exact which type of text that they want within your store, and they're purchasing that through your custom listings, then you can just put those specifically up on Etsy. And the most important part about this is that once we're at this stage and it starts to work, it's so important to just double down on it. Maybe try out, for instance, father stuff if brother works well, everything related to this, but just focusing on what actually is working is the most important part once we're actually at a stage where we found some product market fit. So to summarize, when we have our master list, it's important to do broad strokes. So just try in big broad niches. Maybe try out nurses. Always go after the master list, but don't try it every single one. If you found 5 listings that are selling super well in like the brother niche, try one brother niche, then go to a different broad niche, which might be nurses. If you found something here, for instance, with the panda niche, try the panda niche. Don't do every specific type of panda. Then you find a dinosaur niche, try the dinosaur niche, but don't do every specific dinosaur. If you find a basketball niche, try the basketball niche, but don't try every sub niche within basketball. Just test out basketball and see if that works. And once we, for instance, in this case, let's say that basketball is working, let's try football, let's try baseball. Let's just try out different types of sports, since that is the big broad niche that's now working. And if there's different specific things that they want for that niche, they will usually purchase that, in my experience at least, that they can purchase that through the custom listing, and then you can put those listings that they ask for, that you're designing for them, you can just put that up on Etsy as well, with a really high likelihood of selling well further along. But the most important thing is that when something clicks, just double down on it and just go all in on it. All right, so these were 3 steps that I've used to garner a lot of sales on Etsy. If you liked the video, please hit that like button and subscribe, as that helps out a lot with growing the channel. And if there's anything that you want to see me talk about next, just mention that as well, and I'll do my best to help. I'll see you in the next one.